Hello and welcome to the Muse Talk podcast with me, Harry, and my intrepid co-host.
And myself, Josh.
1,000-year gap as always. So, before we get into today's episode, how are you, Josh? Are you well?
I'm doing very well. Yeah, how about yourself?
I am well. Feeling good. It's a nice sunny day on Saturday, the 11th of April at 3 o'clock. We seem to have kind of gotten into this kind of habit of mentioning the day and the time of the podcast, so I'm going to try and fit that into every episode we do now.
Yeah, well, it's nice the weather has started to pick up in the United Kingdom a little bit, isn't it?
It is. That's such an English conversation. Let's talk about the weather. But so for those of you listening, you can think back, what was I doing at 2 minutes past 3 on Saturday, the 11th of April? That I was doing this. Cool. So before we get into it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of the content that we put out. And also comment and tell us what you think about the podcast. What we are going to be discussing in today's podcast is that both of us play guitar and both of us, weirdly, are Muse fans. So much so we made a podcast over it. And we often wondered, I think this was actually Josh's idea, we often wondered, what are our favourite guitars that Matt has owned over the years. You might have also sussed out that this episode is going to be around this because of the title of the podcast as well.
We always leave clues.
Unsubtle hints.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about our top 5, each of our picks of Manson guitars that Matt Bellamy's used across the whole of his career. So it's a top five from each of us. There is a potential of 10 guitars we're going to talk about. However, there might be some overlap. Hopefully it's not going to be, we all have the exact same 5 picks. Why we've chosen them, what songs they're used for, all that good stuff.
And we don't know each other's picks either. We don't know.
Yes, we have deliberately, properly, this isn't like movie magic, we've properly not told each other what our picks are. So hopefully it will be the most organic and the most interesting and the most relevant. How we're going to do it, Josh is going to lead on each choice. He will say his choice and I will say, what, your, so it will be, hi, my name's Josh. This is my favorite guitar. This is not how Josh talks. And then I'll be like, okay, great, Josh. That was yours. This is mine. Just to kind of keep it simple and keep it simple, stupid, basically. So that everyone at home can listen along rather than it being a confusing ramble of picks. So without further ado, Josh.
Yep. All right.
No, bugger. We need to talk about viewer comments first.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, you kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, hang on a minute.
I did catch you off guard. That's totally my bad. We we do want to actually encourage people to tell us what they think about the show and the previous episodes that we've done. So I'm going to look at some comments from the previous show that we've done, which is the post-Brixton gig and the Cryogen debut. The Brixton gig, the first show of 2026 from Muse in London. What did they do? How did it go down? And they played a new song. So I'm just going to pick some comments seemingly at random. Now, I have, in all honesty, already commented to some of these on my own channel, but we can have a little bit more in-depth discussion around this. So the top one is from 4C Sally. I don't know. It's funny to hear people say that they want to drop the big guns from for the more deep cuts at Muse gigs, but in terms of crowd reaction and engagement, the bigger songs of the night were Nights, Psycho, Uprising, Plug-in Baby, Supermassive Black Hole, and Starlight. So actually, I didn't reply to this. I just liked it. I liked the vibe of what they're kind of saying. I get what you're saying. You want to keep the big ones there, 4C. Keep the big ones, but I think when we're talking, well, at least from my perspective, when we were talking about having some deep cuts in the set, it's not about replacing all the big ones. It's about sprinkling in one or two, maybe replacing some one or two of those bigger ones. My argument being to pull out Undisclosed Desires. From other comments that I've seen, people are kind of seemingly okay with having Uprising taken out, and that could be used as a slot to put something in. But I see what you're saying about keep the big ones for that kind of audience engagement. great. And there's a follow-up point that hopefully I will get to in a bit. But yeah, Josh, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, I see the point. I see the point about bringing in like putting in songs that are obviously like already big and kind of like, because we had that whole discussion of like taking out certain songs that you kind of always hear just all the time, but obviously they're never going to do that because, like, you know, you got songs like Supermassive Black Hole and things like that, which are obviously always going to be in the set list, no doubt. So it would be nice to see them like kind of like maybe get rid of some of those songs and maybe just put in a few deep cuts and here and there, certainly for a show like that. Apologize if that doesn't answer your question because the audio did cut out slightly, sort of midway in between. So I'm hoping I'm
very sorry. No, it worked. It's just more of the observation of what if we took out all the big ones and replaced them with deep cuts.
Oh, so I did guess it. I did kind of get it right.
You guessed it so right. I got another one from Zach M3511. Love the podcast, lads. I was at the show last night. Wicked stuff. Won't soon forget. Great to hear your thoughts. That's not anything that we're kind of responding to, but we just love the support from everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the support.
Very pleased to see that people actually like what we're talking about. And now I made this observation in the last show from from way back when, after they played Unsustainable. I think this was the Simulation Theory tour. It would have been. Matt played this kind of low-tuned riff afterwards. Now, a couple of people said, oh yeah, this riff turned into the Will of the People riff. It was just kind of that standard bluesy type riff that then just kind of evolved into Will of the People. I'm kind of not so in line to kind of agree with that because the rhythm is completely different. So like how Matt played it was just a kind of a slowed down version of the it's a bit ZZ Top. Whereas the Will of the People had a much more articulation in it. That's just an observation of mine that I had. I don't know if you remember that far back, Josh, or that very specific point, but
yeah, I do remember reading something about that. Yeah. It was a little while ago now, so I can't remember the specific details. But I do remember something like that. Yeah, being said.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get anyone who wants to listen, go listen back to it. Apparently, it's around the 19th minute, 30 seconds in. There was two or three people that think that turned into Will of the People, and I'm like, I am yet to be convinced of this. But it's good that people think that, or it's great to see that Muse kind of actively writing stuff on tour on the fly, and it kind of evolves into these things. It's nice to see. Like, I think the biggest example ever of that was like after Citizen Erased in 2000, in the Absolution tour, it went into the Take a Bow stuff, and that turned into that. That's nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I think we'll try and go for one last one, and then we'll get into it. No, I don't want to do anything about removing.
I have one here.
Removing some.
Actually,
yes, please. Hit me.
From Damsel 5755. Loves Brixton. I got to check. I'm assuming you mean you got to check out Newborn and Resistance riff off my Muse live bucket list. That's really good. I'm happy to hear that because I did also get to check a few songs off my bucket list, Resistance again being one of them, and Newborn in its entirety actually being one of them as well. So obviously I've heard it when it was played in the Metal Medley, but I haven't heard it in its entirety with, you know, Matt playing the piano at the start and just the whole song.
Full glory.
So those were two of mine as well. But yeah, it's nice to see that people are getting the opportunity to hear some of the songs that they've always wanted to hear live but never have been able to. And this person says I'd remove Undisclosed Desires and replace it with Space Dementia, Showbiz, Dead Start, or Citizens Erased. Some very, very good picks there.
Really good picks. I did respond to this one and said I don't know which one I'd pick. They're all brilliant songs. I think for me, I would gun to my head, I think I'd have to say Citizen Erased. but I'd love to get any one of these 4. Ideally, I'd love to get all 4.
I would be happy with any of these picks, actually.
Any of these, because I've got Citizen Race just because it's it's the big prog rock one, but I've got so much time and so much love for Dead Star. Showbiz is obviously insane, and Space Dementia is utterly sublime.
I'm waiting for the day for Dead Star when I get that live. I'm just waiting for it. I've had Citizens Erased. I've had Citizens Erased a few times actually on the.
All right, steady
on the. I know. I'm showing off, but I did have it on the Drones tour, and then I had it also when I went to the Apollo gig, I believe. So I haven't had Space Dementia. I have had Showbiz. I had Showbiz when I saw them at Reading in 2017. But I have never had Dead Star. I mean, Showbiz is going to be a really, really difficult one for him to perform live because it's a bit of a micro cuts kind of in terms of the falsetto on the voice, which I'm not sure Matt's really going to be comfortable with, considering he's dropped down Nights to Sidonia and Time's Running Out.
And Showbiz was already detuned. It was half a step down around that time.
Yeah, exactly. Considering he's dropping so many songs now down half a step. For them to do Showbiz, even with it being as it usually is, nowadays half a step down, it's still going to be so difficult to sing. And I don't think we're going to get micro cuts or anything like that anytime soon because it's just so going to be so strenuous on his voice, I think. But
no, totally. I think Showbiz is now half a step down if they ever do play it, but I'm starting to kind of second guess myself. Oh well, but no, your point is absolutely correct that it is a strain on the vocal. So yeah, unlikely, but I think
great picks
or Dead Star. Great picks. Citizen Erased and Dead Star, I think they're well within his vocal range to do. But great picks. Citizen Erased would, I think, have to be my choice, but it doesn't make me like that choice because I'd be like, but I want Dead Star. But anyway, thank you for those comments. Keep them coming. Tell us what you thought about... Excuse me. Tell us what you think about the podcast. Tell us what you think about what we're going to talk about in this show, which are top 5 picks of Manson guitars that Matt has used over the years. Now,
and if we don't read your comment, by the way, it doesn't mean that we haven't seen it. We do. Harry and I do read almost all of them. So
we do.
If
read
we
all
don't
of them.
mention it, we just don't have the time. So but we do see your views and we do actively think, nice comment, comment, and so be good to keep them coming.
Keep them coming. I mean, I do heart all of the comments and do reply to them where I can.
Great.
If I don't for some reason, then I'm sorry. Maybe comment further to be like, oi, Harry, comment back. Anyway, let's talk about guitars. Josh, take it away.
Yeah, so I wanted to, when I was thinking about sort of my top 5 picks, I kind of had this thought in the back of my mind, and it was the thought that all of the top 5 picks I had all kind of have their own individual personalities. So these guitars felt like they were really part of the show. They felt like when you saw them, it was almost like an extra band member being on stage. You kind of associated these guitars really strongly with Muse in that respect. And I think that this is one of the real core reasons why I really do like Muse as a band and Matt Bellamy as a guitar player. And that was for the fact that instead of playing something that everybody plays, like a Les Paul or a Strat or a Telecaster, for example, he's progressed into making something that is his own and fits his own style of playing and his own sound and what he wants, and they're designed specifically to his ideas and what he wants. And I think that's really, really great because, but also it kind of creates that mystery as well, especially when I was, younger and there wasn't, I don't even, when I was obviously first became a fan of Muse, there wasn't even the MB1s. They hadn't even been released by Manson at that time. So you could not get a Manson guitar unless you made one yourself, which is a whole nother podcast entirely. But, The thing is that it's very easy to, if you're a Jimi Hendrix fan, you can go to any kind of guitar store at the time, or go online and get yourself a cheap Fender Squire, and you kind of felt all right, now I can play his riffs, and now I can, as a child, you can kind of play along to that with the guitar that he used. Or if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, you can pick up a Les Paul. But with Muse, that was increasingly difficult. We didn't have that freedom to be able to actually do that. Number one, they were very expensive when they were released, and number two, at the time, there was nothing. There was nothing from Manson. So I think that really kind of creates the mystery, as well as obviously all the onboard effects like the Chaos Pad, Buzz Factories, Fernandez sustainers, now Sustainiac sustainers. It really kind of, I hope you agree with what I'm saying, Harry, but I think it does create that kind of mystery, or it did back then, before any of these kind of signature models were released.
It absolutely did create that mystery, and it really brought Muse closer to the audience, and like Manson's as a brand closer to us when they did start to make those signatures. I think, was it 2009 to 2011 when they made the MB?
I think it was 2009, 2010, something like that.
Yeah, something around that, and it blew my mind. It was like, oh, I'll never get that. It's like, what was it, $2,500 or something?
I think it was that was for the base model. I think if you wanted the full works, $3,500. I think it was.
Yeah, because they were doing them in like batch production, everything, and was expensive because there wasn't that kind of infrastructure, and it took, what was it, a year to get the guitar through. It was a really long turnaround. And when I got my first Manson, this one in the middle, that was 2015.
Yeah.
And it isn't a matte signature. It had the pickup he was using at the time and a Sustainiac, not a sustainer, but knowing what I know now, Sustainiac is better than the sustainer one. It made the brand come more alive. It was more real, and I love that. And then as time has gone on, then Manson had more resource to then start doing more and more things and shorten that production time and get guitars out to the masses. I mean, what was it when I came to get my third one? Ordered it, and then it was with me within the next week.
I know it's
my face was gone.
I was going to say, it's so different from, I can't believe, from where it was to where it is now. It's grown. The company has grown so much, and obviously since Matt has taken it over, which I always thought would happen. If I'm being honest, I think I had a good
I wasn't
guess
surprised by that at all. I wasn't surprised. Yeah. He's like seemed to be like the face of the brand. I mean, on their own website, they've got John Paul Jones on there, Dave Grohl on there. I'm blanking on who else they've got on there, but Matt was also like the main face of it. I mean, Dave Grohl on there is an interesting one because he used one guitar for one show and never again. Josh Homme had one, but then sent it back because he wasn't quite vibing with it. And John Paul Jones, he's been using Manson's for years and years and years. Like you see performances of him playing with them Crooked Vultures, and that was like back in 2009. He'd been using them.
I think Hugh was his guitar tech as well.
Yeah, bass tech. Yeah. So that was that connection. So yeah, he just had loads of stuff, for him there. And then obviously there was a bass that they made for Mike Kerr. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, obviously I think Matt or someone obviously put them in touch with them. And I think Chris Wolstenholme, he had a couple of Manson basses, or maybe just one made for him as well. But again, he sort of just they sort of used them for a little while and then kind of go back to what they were using before. Don't really know why that is, to be honest, because a lot of the instruments they make are super cool, but I think it's just kind of what you know, and if you've grown up playing in a certain instrument,
there has to be an element of what you know. There's also Mikey Demus from Skindred, who has his own Mansons as well. And then in more recent years, Graham Coxon from Blur or his own right, Jaded Hearts Club Band as well. He's got his own Mansons as well.
Yeah,
they've become more and more more and more of a thing.
So many artists, are picking up on these guitars. I do have something against. Well, not against. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, you can't do that. That's against the grain." But when people sort of buy maybe like a Evo that's got a MIDI pad in it, and they're a serious, artist who is trying to. I know you're looking, but what I was going to say is if you're like a serious artist who is trying to create their own sound and their own kind of look in a band, then if you've got a guitar with a MIDI pad on it, you're already associating yourself with Muse in that kind of sense.
You're already evoking that. I mean, I see what you're saying with that, but I think if they make efforts and to distinguish themselves from Muse or not try and do Muse things, they do their own thing, then that's fine. In the same way that people.
But you see what I'm saying, though, right?
I see what you're saying, because it's a lot more specific than I've got a Strat. Oh, of course you're going to try and sound like Hendrix.
Exactly, it's just because of that reason. Yeah.
No, completely agree. It's because they're so specific and they evoke specific preconceptions about what that music's going to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, I totally get it. I do totally get it. I absolutely love that Manson Guitar Works has kind of grown from where it was. They've become more accessible. They're making really interesting products, and they've made their own pedal. Which at some point, I will get myself that pedal.
I've heard it's good.
A fuzz pedal. I absolutely love fuzz pedals. I should just bite the bullet and do it. Just been a bit difficult for me lately to do things like that. But I'm in a better place now, and I can do such things. But I absolutely love what Manson do, what they experiment with doing, and their customer service is absolutely brilliant. And they're just great people overall.
Yeah, their attention to detail is literally just it's second to none, isn't it? I mean, the amount of they will not send an instrument out unless it's absolutely perfect. And if it isn't perfect, then as you said, they're going to be able to sort that out for you in a really great way and hopefully in a timely manner as well.
I have a fun story about that. So when I got my new era, the Fuzz Factory was really strange. The oscillating signal was stronger than like the input signal from what I'd play. So if I had it on, I'd have to really like hit the strings really hard to fight against that. And I thought, is that just how it is? That doesn't make sense. Mentioned it. I rang up Manson and they thought, that just open up the stab more. And I was like, doesn't sound right, but okay. And then I got to the guitar show and they saw me and came over and said, oh yeah, you had that problem with the new era. Yeah, it is a problem. Send it to us and we'll fix it. And yeah, so I was like, I knew I was right. But yeah, then they fixed that problem and they were great. They just like no issue. It was a component issue. Fixed super quick and got it back. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant customer service.
That's what we like to see.
No, yeah, they were absolutely. So yeah, Adrian, thank you. That was a nice, nice introduction to Manson Guitar Works.
It was indeed. We can go into our top 5 picks now, and then we'll do some honourable mentions at the end, as well as I've got like a modern pick in there as well, perhaps. So yeah, we'll go through those at the end. Starting off though with
welcome back, and we are just about to go into our top 5 picks of Matt's Manson guitars used. And I also had just realised that I'm wearing my Manson guitar T-shirt.
Nice.
Is it on purpose? Is it not? I don't know. But anyway, Josh, kick us off. Your number 5.
We'll assume it's on purpose.
We'll assume it's on purpose. We're just big fans.
We are. I should dig out my. I was saying I should dig out my old hoodie, but it's somewhere. But I didn't have the time to find it. But anyway.
Anyway, number 5 from Josh.
Number 5, I have put the Manson Alley Top. The one with the Floyd Rose.
I think you can drop the word Manson because it's going to appear in everything. You can just say
why am I saying that? My top. Great if I go into it. That my top pick, the Fender Stratocaster.
The greatest Fenders of all time. Okay, you wait for it.
Sorry, mate, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. The Alley Top, an interesting choice. Okay, talk us through that.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, when I first got into Muse, it was actually the Harp DVD.
I was just about to say, from that choice, I can guess the year
the direction
you got into. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was late 2007, or maybe it was early 2000. I can't quite remember, but I think it was
considering the Harp DVD came out in 2008.
It was 2008, and my cousin showed me that DVD, and the first song on there was Night Sidonia, and then obviously going into Hysteria, and this was the first Manson guitar that I ever saw. So
wow,
yeah, that's why it had to have a place on my list. So essentially, just going over what the specs of the guitar, if you like. So it was different to the original DeLorean because it wasn't cladded in aluminium. It just had aluminium on the top, and then the back and sides were painted silver in kind of like sort of like an aluminium spray paint almost, just to match the top. And then it had an Ibanez Low Pro trem with a lock. Why do they put with locking nut?
Yeah,
I mean, I think they all have that.
That's just how locking systems work. It has to have the locking nut. But yeah, the Ibanez Low Pro system. It's a great system. I've got it on my Ibanez. It has a trem. It's nice. It's rounded. It's not as kind of jaggedy as like a Floyd Rose
that's right.
system.
Yeah, that's nice. Right. Yeah, definitely. And what else can I tell you about it? So bird's eye maple neck, and bare knuckle custom Mississippi Queens P90s.
Absolutely amazing pickups. Absolutely stunning.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Love a Mississippi Queen. I've got it. Actually, I got a Mississippi P90. Mississippi. Bleh. I have the neck picker for that in my Ibanez, and it sounds great. And the MBK1, which is in my telly, is like a modded Mississippi Queen.
Right.
Fantastic pickup. Tremendous pickup. It picks up everything. I don't know if you know this. It picks up everything. Yeah, it sounds absolutely fantastic. It has got a perfect, really crisp sound, and it can handle kind of almost any tone. I argue that it can't do like big like riffs, but for good, things like Stockholm Syndrome, I'd argue there are stronger pickups for that. But for everything else that Matt would be doing and playing, it works so well. And this guitar got a lot of use for Nights of Sidonia and Hysteria, obviously, but it got use elsewhere as well, which is great to see. Yeah,
and then just a little bit of background on it as well. So it came in towards the later sort of middle-ish kind of part of the Black Holes and Revelations tour. It was basically brought into
it was brought at the beginning of 2007. The first show in Singapore. Let me just open that.
I think yes, you're right on that. You are right on that. And then it was last used at Coachella Festival in 2014. So around that time, though, I think it was pretty much being used for Save Me, Nights of Sidonia, and that was pretty much it, I think, at the time. It wasn't used a hell of a lot. It was used just obviously during songs that obviously needed a Floyd Rose trem. So Hysteria, it got a lot of use for Nights of Sidonia, as you said. But then there was there were certainly some songs in the 2011 Reading show, like Dark Shines, where it was used.
Just that one, because it got tuned down to E flat. Mm-hmm. So it was just that show. But that performance of Dark Shines in particular, I would argue that highlight the tonal range of this guitar.
So good.
Just worked perfectly, especially in the breakdown where they got that softer part. to contrast that against the more aggressive bit. Oh, stunning. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And then one last fact before we move on to your
my number 5.
5th place pick, is that this guitar appears to have been, it has the cavity routed for a fuzz factory. If you actually look at the pictures of it, there is a space for that on the back, but it obviously has been decided, it was decided at some point that they would not install the fuzz factory in this guitar. I think but perhaps it could have been, they might have wanted to make him another bomber, and then it became, obviously it doesn't have the kind of the curves on this guitar, and it's obviously got just the kind of more flattish top to it. So maybe that was the direction they were heading in, and then they said, actually, you know what, I don't really need the fuzz factory in this one. Just make it a real basic.
It never
model.
gets used. It just
I mean, this is about as basic as guitars get, because it's got no. It's There's two pickups, tone volume, 3-way selector, Floyd Rose.
For anyone else, that for other guitarists, they'd be go, that's great. That's just a guitar. But for Muse fans, it's like there's no wacky electronics.
Not for Bellamy.
What is? I love that pick. That is really good. Absolutely love it. I mean, I remember when I first saw the Heart DVD, and that's where I first saw this guitar.
Yeah,
it wasn't the first. It wasn't the first Manson guitar that I'd seen. I think the first one that I'd seen of his might have been the Mirror Bomber, because I think the first show of theirs that I saw was the 2006 Reading show, and obviously they opened with Nights, and that was where that was. But means that our first kind of our first experience of seeing Muse live, whether it was broadcast or live, was Nights of Sardonia. That's great.
Yeah, that's a true fact right there.
Love that fact. And on the same tour, Black Hole. Love that.
Excellent.
Let me regale you with my number 5 pick. Now, I really hope that I surprise you with this one. It is the Troncaster.
Wow, I am surprised.
I have surprised him. Now, this might not be as interesting to other other guitars that Matt's had, because, but I would argue in some ways it is interesting, because all the hardware's black. It's a stealth look. It's a Sustainiac humbucker and a Psychopath PF1 humbucker in the bridge, uncovered. That's it for the electronics. Or is it? Because you could count the fact that it's got neon light tube lighting around the entire frame of it as electronics. And I arguably would. This guitar has a certain look about it that is hard to miss, hard to ignore. It's understated. It's stealthy. I love a stealthy look. I'd be been tempted every so often to wonder about stealthing up my my Evo 2 by replacing the hardware for it, but I don't know if it would work. And I love the neon aspect for this, just because it's a good aesthetic, and I like that aspect of the 80s vibe. Most of the 80s nostalgia stuff completely doesn't do it for me, but this one works really well because it's really good for lighting.
I think it started off. I think it started off with a LED strip around one of the matte black guitars, and then that kind of evolved into this, right?
Yes, it did, because the LED strip you could see where there weren't LEDs, and so it looked kind of spotty. This one, as it's continuous, is a lot more uniform, a lot better. So this is the refined version of that. I like it. I just really like it.
No, I have to agree. It caused Tim Stark, who built the guitar at Manson's. He's head luthier now, isn't he? And apparently he had to remake it about 2-3 times because the I can't remember what you call it. It's like fiber optic cable that goes round the outside of the guitar that produces that kind of continuous light around it. Is very, very fragile. And if you obviously when you're kind of sticking it, you're using it as like binding around the guitar, and when you're sticking it, especially around the tight corners, it would have a tendency to break. And as soon as that happened, you kind of have to start again. So it's a good job that Matt didn't do any sort of beatings with this guitar on stage.
Yeah, he probably received it and got a stern talking to by Tim to go.
Don't even think about it with this.
Don't throw this one around. Play this for the nice songs. And speaking of, this song was used for Algorithm, the alternate reality version, Madness, Pressure, Resistance, Time is Running Out, and Unsustainable. You can't argue with those. They're all... Madness kind of played half a step down, but the rest all in standard. By this point, it's 2018. By this point, Matt had refined his guitar sound down to the PF1 and the Sustainiac. So like the electronics are all the same. It's just more about like kind of the differences in the aesthetic, and then having song specific guitars. It just as simple as that, really. That's my number 5 pick.
Absolutely, no, a great pick. I have to agree. It's a great pick for as modern guitars go. It's definitely one that stood out 100%. Yeah. So I think it deserves its place on the list.
And I'm pleased that I could surprise you.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised because I thought you was going to go much older than that. But no, it's nice. It's nice to see that on the list, because I have to agree. It deserves its spot for sure. My 4th pick is the M1D1 Black with the dual P90s in it.
N1D1 Black. Okay.
Yeah. This was it was an absolute workhorse during the Black Holes and Revelations era, and also very much so that carried over into the Resistance era as well. So yeah, it was kind of used for 2 tours, if you want to call it that. And it, my God, did it get some use? I mean, if you go down the song list, I mean, we haven't even got time to go down the amount of songs that it was used on, because it was, I mean, Bliss, Dead Star, Forced In, Guiding Light, Hyper Music, Hysteria, Invincible, Interlude, Mad of Mystery, MK Ultra.
Niche, Resistance, Sing for Absolution, Starlight, Sunburn, Supermassive Black Hole, Take a Bow, Time is Running Out, Unnatural Selection, and presumably, apparently, Uprising in recording.
There we go. We've done the whole list.
And also based off of Making of Drones. Yeah, the Making of Drones DVD, that was seen in the recording studio. So it will have been used on drone stuff. We just don't know what they were.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how we divided the labour on that song list. That was
I ran out of breath. I went as far as I could and you took over, which is great. It's teamwork, that is. That's why we do a podcast with 2 people.
God, yeah. Banter, it's useful. I mean, I thought I'd wanted to do podcasting before we started doing this, and I thought, I can't do a podcast on my own. That would just be me talking to cameras, speculating without any sort of
it doesn't
feedback.
Really work, does it?
No, it doesn't. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so this guitar is certainly very different to my last pick, because this has got all of the toys, all of the goodies built into this one. So we've got, I think this was the first guitar to have the MIDI pad actually installed in it, which I think we've mentioned this before, which is not a actual Chaos pad. It's not a core Chaos pad. They don't take the unit and install that whole thing into the guitar. It's simply just an XY MIDI pad controller. So think of it as just a piece of glass, like a touch screen that basically gets installed into the guitar with a little circuit board and LED, of course, underneath to give it some stage presence, give it some personality. This guitar had two bare knuckle nail bomb. Oh God, hang on a minute. I'm on the wrong tab. This had 2 bare knuckle BKP 92s.
Incorrect.
I mean, that's it. What? P92S.
Incorrect.
Yeah. What is this?
That's wrong.
It had
because I can tell you what.
Pickups.
No, I can tell you what pickups they are.
What pickups are they? Because they have the Manson logo on them.
Yeah, but that's just just a custom, like, cover on it. They are bare knuckle Nantuckets.
Are they?
And I know this because when I built this guitar, and I copied that that pickup layout in it. Maybe I'll put a picture on screen if I can be bothered. I contacted Bare Knuckle and said, "What pickups does Matt have in that guitar?" And they told me he has P90 Nantucket. And so the middle pickup on that guitar is the Nantucket, whereas I actually went for the supermassive P90 in the bridge for that one.
Right.
So straight from the horse's mouth, 100%, people from Bare Knuckle said Matt Bellamy has Nantuckets in that guitar.
Well, that is interesting to know. That is interesting to know because I thought it was always, to be honest, the pickups in this guitar, like I always thought, I mean, I'm reading this off of Muse Wiki because I want to be correct, but it also shows that Muse Wiki isn't always correct. But I always thought there was some kind of partnership, obviously, between Bare Knuckle and Manson because they had the Manson logo on them. But obviously, you know, Manson had a good partnership with Bare Knuckle for quite some time.
Very true.
So, no, that's interesting to know. What also is interesting about the pickups is that they were, I believe, wired together so they could be used as basically like a giant humbucker.
Massive humbucker.
Yeah, so you could use, that's why they were placed so closely together at the bridge of the guitar. So yeah, you could use them together. However, I believe it was very rarely used in this configuration. Was often just used with the humbucker closest to the bridge of the guitar. Yeah. But still interesting to know, and it just goes to show how Manson liked to do things differently and kind of think outside the box.
And absolutely, but it's actually that sort of layout isn't new. The guitarist from Deftones has his pickups in a very similar way. I know that if you're alarmed why I'm freaking out on cameras because there was a tiny fly that will not piss off. So yeah, the guitarist from Deftones has guitars with pickups in that sort of like bridge configuration, and I find that and I like that. And there is also a guitarist from like the 80s that had a very similar look as well. I think the idea to have a push-pull pot on there to basically turn it into a giant humbucker is inspired. That's a really good idea. Otherwise, would like to hear kind of examples of this. Like this is this sound and this is the other sound. But yeah, brilliant choice. Absolutely stellar choice.
Yeah, and of course, I think the last thing to mention. So the body was Brazilian mahogany, apparently. Neck, bird's eye maple, and it had, of course, the Fernandez Sustainer FSK401 kit installed in it, which you can't buy anymore because
Fernandez went bust.
Gone bust, which is a shame if you want to build a replica of this guitar and you don't the Sustainiac, but they are equally
even though the
good.
Sustainiac is the superior in my view, because Fernandez were just a brand that copied other people's stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Sustainiac could be going a lot longer, and I'd argue had a superior product, but then Fernandez somehow made a bigger brand name for themselves. But then, yeah, that's a whole other story. But yeah, an authentic one like this, impossible to come by unless you find a pre-used or dig out a pre-used Sustainer.
And the last performance of the guitar was 2011, which was the Reading show. Obviously, the Origin of Symmetry album run through. Actually, very famous show.
Very famous show. What was the last song that it was used? Time is running out.
Time is running out. That was its last ever live outing.
Wow.
Very sad, but
tremendously sad.
Tremendously sad.
Shall I do my top four?
Absolutely, yeah. Hit me. Let's go.
Okay, my top four. I'm hoping to surprise you again. Is the M1D1 Blue.
The M1D1 Blue. Oh, his most recent one.
Only used for Break It To Me. Now starting to be used a bit for Newborn and used once or twice for Supermassive Black Hole. In a similar way to the Troncaster, I just like that this has got a purple neon strip around it. I think that is a cool little feature. Again, by this point, it very much refined the formula. Sustainiac pickup in there. This one is actually the humbucker version, not the single coil, and a PF1, uncovered PF1 in the bridge, volume, tone, and the controls for the Sustainiac, and then the hold button for the XY screen, which never gets used. I just really like the guitar because of the purple strip that goes around it, the blue color, that bluebell, blue paint, whatever you call it. I really like, so much so that I got my New Era in that color. Obviously, this is a gloss, not a matte finish. It just looks great. I know that Matt for a number of years had just gotten like black guitars, and it's nice to see some color come through on this. And in the recent show, he got his new blue Tremlock Manson from there, but with a single coil Sustainiac. I really like that, and I've got a good feeling that might be the new kind of workhorse guitar because it was used for like 4 or 5 songs.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right on that. And that show definitely showed that is potentially where that guitar is heading. It's heading for the same life as my last pick, the M1D1 Black, being used for so many songs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just like it. It's kind of, moving a bit away from the black guitars and is going towards like just things with a bit of color. The choices are either black, red, or blue, and I like that. Weirdly enough, those are all the colors of my guitars, but mostly through coincidence. But yeah, I really like this just because obviously all the bodies of these are all the same size, apart from the bombers, but they're all the same size. But this just looks bigger. So it looks chunkier.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like it's got more presence to it, and I think it might be helped by like the XY pad on there as well. But it looks great. The blue works really, really well. Captures the light. It's obviously got a great sound, and just nice overall. And I've got a soft spot in myself for "Break It to Me." I really like that song. It's the best song I think I would say, it's the best song off Simulation Theory because it's kind of doing Muse do Rage Against the Machine. And when I saw them live and they played this song, Tom Morello came out to guest solo on it. So this guitar is a bit special for me because when I saw it being played live, both of my guitar idols were on stage playing together. So yeah,
fantastic.
That's my number 4 pick.
I'm very surprised. I thought you'd be going, as I say, I thought you'd be going a lot older than this, but it's nice to see some modern guitars taking some of your places in your top 5. That's really good. I have to agree. When you see the bluebell kind of finish in person, it looks amazing. Photos don't do it justice because it kind of changes in the light. It kind of looks a bit blue sometimes and a little bit purplish.
That strip that helps kind of like show that off. I mean,
exactly.
There's a picture somewhere of Matt's guitar tech, and he's actually got this out on the bench, and I think the lights are on, but no one's home.
I know the picture you're talking about.
Yeah, and let me just see if I can find it. But yeah, it works. It reacts to the light, which is nice.
Absolutely. I love guitars that do change in the light and have kind of more dynamic finishes rather than just one flat color, because you can it's very easy to get that on any guitar. I want a red guitar and it's just red in every single light. When you're on stage and you've got lots of lights around you, use that dynamic finish to your advantage, because you can get away with some really stunning looking finishes which change in the light.
Totally agree. Interesting that you say dynamic finishes that change color. I'm going to try and remember that for some future picks from this show. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah. I'm glad to see it in there. And as I say, that'll be the last one. It deserves its place. So number 3 for myself, I have put the M1D1 Mirror. Oh my God. Wow, a guitar that actually wasn't made for Matt. Interesting. Indeed. You're totally right. And if anybody who's not familiar with this is wondering why it was called M1D1, it's because originally it was called. It basically was a customer who confused the word MIDI for M1D1, and Hugh thought that was pretty funny and decided to, you know what, I'm going to call it the M1D1 because it's a cool name, isn't it? It just
We're
sounds
going to make
cool.
you famous by highlighting your ignorance.
But it sounds cool, doesn't it? M1D1. That is just cool, isn't it?
It kind of works with like the way. Oh my god, my little Lego person has just fallen down.
Oh dear.
Oh no, man down.
Oh.
And yeah, it works with how like a lot of, I don't know, pedals or guitars or lots of like guitar stuff is kind of named. They they don't give it like a name like the Destroyer. They just go letter number numericals, very efficient. It's kind of got this kind of like military kind of grade feel to it. It feels like a proper piece of equipment than
definitely
a guitar.
Absolutely.
Because these are all like one-off customs. What else are you going to call it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as you said, the guitar was not originally made for Matt because although it was classed as the MB shape, Matt really hadn't at the time disclosed whether he wanted it just to be for him or not. So I think Hughes started making guitars with that shape that could be sold to the public. And Matt quickly saw this guitar, probably before anyone else could get eyes on it, and obviously ended up purchasing it. And then I think after that, it was kind of more like, if you're going to make guitars with this shape, just for me only, for now, and not for the public, because there were actually, it wasn't the only guitar that I think there was a series of 4 guitars that were made with the MB shape that were not made specifically for Matt. It was made. They were just made for public sale.
Yeah, there was an old website.
I think there was the Shatter Manson, which kind of had this beautiful V of shatters on it coming from the back of the guitar going up to the front. It had this like V, and the way God knows how he gets these cracks in the mirror to look so good, because
I think he might take like a diamond head tool and then just crack the actual glass.
There'll be something like that, I'd imagine, yeah. Because often or not, I mean, if you try and replicate this finish, you kind of put I've heard some people, because there's a really great guy on Instagram called Kevin Burton. He makes replicas.
Hell yeah! Shout out to Kevin.
Shout out to Kevin. I saw him actually at the Brixton gig. I offered him.
I saw him. Yeah, I know that you probably would have seen. I saw him at the O2 gig, the last show that I went to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
I saw
guy.
it
Really nice guy.
because I saw what he was wearing on his story, and he come past and he was looking back at the queue like, oh. And I was just like, I'll drop him a message on Instagram, see if he wants to join, because it's just me in the queue. Do you know what I mean? And see if he wants to come in. But I think he got further up the queue in the end somehow. But he makes these beautiful replicas of some of Matt's guitars, which is some of them look spot on.
Hashtag not for sale.
Hashtag not for sale. That is his. He's patented that, hasn't he?
Well, I think maybe it's to make sure that Manson don't sue him.
Exactly. I think that you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
But this guitar didn't have a hell of a lot of use, because unfortunately it met a bitter end. So it was first used 2006, 06, 07. Is what Muse Wiki says, and its last gig was at the Fuji Rock Festival on the 27th of July in 2007, where it was destroyed because it was thrown against a strobe light at the end of Stockholm Syndrome, and the whole thing cracked in half. Just to tell you where it is, it's exactly where the cavity is for all the electronics, so that's obviously a weak point for the guitar. Yeah. And then it went on display in Hughes' shop, and it was there for a number of years until they closed the shop. And I don't know where it is now, actually.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is kind of in Hughes' just personal collection.
I would imagine so. I think this is one that Hughes obviously taken. I'd like that back, because he said that he put an awful lot of work into it, and he was quite disappointed.
There's one of the videos on Manson's channel is this, and it's a really nice interview. It's really well crafted, really well just kind of articulated.
The BBC one, was that right?
Yep. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's just insane that it's got that. I remember this from around that time, but it was actually given to like a guitar reviewer company, and a guy did a video on it. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have. I remember.
And they said they connected it to a chord chaos plugin, and they just used delay presets. And I was like, why are you not using the synth presets? But okay.
It's a strange demo, but I thought it was weird because I thought Matt always had it. But then I saw a comment at the top, and it was the funniest comment because it was something like, "Oh no, wait till Matt Bellamy finds out about this." And I was just like, I was thinking, why it's so strange, because why would Matt give a guitar to a reviewer to review for a guitar magazine? It doesn't make any sense. But then I found out that it wasn't originally made for him, and it was made for to be sold as it was somewhat of a mass-produced product, because they were just going to produce, multiple versions of it and sell it, which I wish they did, because that would be amazing. Do you imagine
make it accessible? Yeah, I mean it's really unique. I know it's bizarre to say this one's very unique. That kind of goes against what the whole word unique is supposed to mean. But this the natural finished wood on the back, and then this mirror top with binding around it. I know you haven't gone over the specs just yet, so I'm trying to not say too many things against it. But it really does have a very much more of a unique look compared against the vast majority, if not all, of Matt's guitars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the body was beautiful piece of mahogany. Would have been very heavy, but it looks great. Certainly the grain on that wood, if you're going to do an exposed wood finish on a guitar with just some lacquer, a piece of mahogany like that is really going to look very, very nice. And then bird's eye maple neck, rosewood fingerboard. It had a 3-way toggle selector in the as wide as the kill switch, obviously. I think around this time, Matt probably would have chosen not to have that, because I think this was the sort of place in his guitar journey where he was starting to, you think, I don't really need the kill switch. And that's why a lot of his later guitars didn't feature any kind of kill switch in that position. So I think he probably would have opted not to have one had he had it made specifically for himself. Yeah. But that's just obviously, as we mentioned, that's just the way the cookie crumbled, really, with this guitar. And also another difference, I think this guitar would have likely had the Fernandez Sustainer single coil pickup as opposed to the FSK 101 kit, which is obviously the humbucking variant of the Fernandez Sustainer. I think that's another change, which it's only now that he started really using the humbucking variants of the Sustainiac. It was always the single coil variant. I think that's just a stylistic choice, because he tends to not use the neck pickup too much.
Well, he never does, really. And it's like the times that he does, it's super duper rare. It's just there as the Sustainer. I mean, I don't understand why the preference over the humbucker over the single coil, because the humbucker ones are actually just a single coil. They just put a plastic thing on it to make it look like a humbucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I don't like it, and I kind of wish that the two Mansons that I've got humbucker Sustainiacs on them were just single coil ones, just because of more of a low profile look.
Well, I have a few. I have a few of the original. What was it called? The MCB, or what was it called? The first affordable version that the Court brought out.
MBC,
sorry.
Matt Bellamy Court.
Yeah, I've got a few of those, but they're obviously heavily modified. But they have these single coils, and I've always preferred that look much more than the humbuckers in the neck. It's just, I don't know whether it's just because I'm used to it by now or not, but it does look better, in my opinion.
I would agree.
Anything else about this guitar? Well, of course, it had the XY MIDI pad in there as well. But I think the real selling point for this is that, of course, that beautiful cracked mirror finish. It just looks absolutely stunning. In terms of what songs it was used for, I mean, most of the time it was used for Map of the Problematic. Later on in its life, its very short life, because he would tune it to obviously drop C, and that would be the delegated guitar for that song.
It's not technically drop C, it's just standard then E down to C, because drop
E
C
down to C, yeah.
Yeah. Just to
I always
split-
call it
just
drop
to split.
C.
I call it that, but I got told off by someone in comments once and dared
not
to
again.
never say it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but later on, but before that, it was used for Newborn, Sing for Absolution, Starlight, Stockholm Syndrome, Supermassive Black Hole. So, yeah, it did get some kind of, if I'm saying it wrong, I apologise, but drop D use.
That's correct. That's correct
slide.
use of drop D.
Okay, then we're doing all right.
You used the D correctly. Comedy.
Very
Comedy.
good. Very good. So the last point about the M1D1 mirror was that it was eventually replaced by the Black MIDI. I know. You shot me then. I thought
Replaced. But it did die.
Yeah, unfortunately it did. Oh my God, what a sad day. But it was replaced by the Black MIDI, which was a you would have thought they would have replaced it with by just remaking the M1D1 mirror. I'm sure that's probably what they thought about doing, but I think it because doing a mirror finish like this takes a hell of a lot of work and a lot of time, and obviously they were mid-tour at the time. So it would be a lot easier just to make essentially just another MIDI pad guitar with a standard flat black finish, rather than trying to go down the route making this replicating this mirror finish again. They did make another M1D1. It is slightly different to the original in terms of how the mirror is cracked and other things, but they did produce it for sale. I can't remember how many years ago that was now, but someone did buy it. So someone out there owns an actual Manson M1D1, which is pretty cool. Whoever that guy is, you're very lucky, my friend.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I thought that was like a custom order from that person.
No, because they put it on. I think it was Adrian who messaged me back, because I was like, "Oh, is Matt bringing it back to the stage?" And he said, "No, not this one. This one will actually be produced for sale. So keep your eyes out." And I was like, I replied back, "Yes, I will." Apart from the fact I had nowhere near the amount of funds that would be able to buy that guitar. I think they wanted like $4,500 or $5,000 for it or something like that. So not in my world, unfortunately.
Not my wheelhouse. No.
Yeah, but it gives a very dedicated fan with deeper pockets to something to enjoy.
I think I know who the person is that you're talking about who bought it. I mean, I think I know who it is. Yeah, lucky individual indeed.
I think it was resold, but I think it might have been resold again. I can't remember though. But anyway, that is the M1D1 mirror. That is the story of that guitar. What's your third pick?
My third pick. We're going old school. We're bringing it back.
We're going old.
We're bringing it back. Yeah, we've had the Troncaster. We've had the MIDI blue. We've had some neon stuff going on, but we're gonna go bomber. And what bomber in particular we're going to look at is the original bomber.
Of course.
The Absolution era bomber, where it all kicked off with the kind of rounded, low profile tremlock guitar. So the fun story behind this was supposed to look like what the Chrome bomber ended up looking like, but there was a bit of an error in kind of building it, but they embellished that and ended up painting this to make it look like burnt kind of metal. And an absolutely inspired choice. Looks great. Did that with these kind of so you got this chrome finish, but then these like tinges of blue and purple over it. So when you said a guitar that kind of changes in the light, this is sort of what I was going at, because it's got that kind of like look of when you see like oil in water, it changes color as your perspective changes. Obviously, this doesn't do that. It's painted, but it's just got that kind of like gradienty kind of view to it. I love this thing. It looks great. That kind of combination of chrome and then blue over it is great. And you've got these rivet heads over the top, so it looks like sheet metal.
It looks like an American sort of World War II aircraft or something like that.
Hence where the name kind of came from. Where I think Hugh went down to some scrapyard and got some like rivet heads and put it over there, put it over the top, so it had that kind of more kind of like gritty, mass produced but in a hurry kind of like vibe. So hence where the Bomber name came from, and their Bomber body plan for this came from all the subsequent guitars like this are called Bomber because it's that rounded look for it. So further uniqueness for this is actually a different neck than others. In terms of the headstock is more of a kind of your Strat kind of style with that extra kind of layout over the top of it. I've seen it said that it's an Ibanez neck, which I'm not so sure I'd be calling it that because it looks like to me it looks like a Fender Strat, 70s Fender Strat headstock. Yeah, it had that oversized head to it, and then they just cut the top kind of circle to give it that kind of the Manson shape, or it's more of that kind of pointed angle. Because Ibanez don't make shapes like that. It looks more like a 70s Fender Strat, more 70s Fender headstock because they kind of did them for Telecasters as well. I love it. And then they kind of replicated that kind of bluey, purpley kind of chromy finish at the top there, but just with paint, and then kept the rivets going over the top. Tremlock system, Ibanez low profile system on there. Originally had a Rio Grande Crunchbox humbucker in there and a P90, apparently a Rio Grande Jazz Bar. For the Black Holes tour, it was switched to a bare knuckle nail bomb, which is actually what was in your M1D1 Cracked in there as well, because that's the kind of the sound that Matt was going for at the time. In terms of the electronics, there's no fuzz factory, there's no sustainer. There is a MIDI strip, which has been used on another guitar as well, but it was never ever used live. From whatever evidence I've seen, it's never connected, because at the time I don't know if there was this kind of like wireless MIDI transmittable kind of technology out there, so it would have had to have been physically plugged into a MIDI cable, just not practical.
Very rarely was he really using that the strip control. It was so rare that he ever really used.
Yeah, I only know of one instance of it ever being used, and it was for In Your World on the Hullabaloo video. I think he may have got it because he wanted a guitar with a whammy pedal in it for that particular guitar, and then saw how kind of impractical it was in a live situation. For the studio, different story, but then kind of dropped that in the for live performances, and may have just relied entirely on MIDI for such things. So yeah, very, very minimal in terms of the electronics, because there's no because of the low profile system or low profile aspect of the guitar. It looks like it's very lightweight. It's all rounded off. There's no like electronics in there to maybe weigh it down, but then there's no cavities for those electronics. But it looks like it's very lightweight. There's a kill switch in there. There's also a switch on there to turn the ribbon strip on and off. So I imagine that actually would kind of get in the way of when you're playing it. You've got these two switches you don't want to hit. But yeah, really simple in terms of the electronics and that are in there as well. And the songs it was used for: Bliss, Fury, Glorious, Hysteria, Nights of Sidonia, Muscle Museum, Showbiz, Syncfab Solution, Starlight, The Groove, Take a Bow, and Thoughts of a Dying Atheist. Used from somewhere in 2003. So the Absolution tour had kicked off at this point. So it kind of joined the team late into the Absolution tour, but it got heavy use from 2004. Onward. A lot of the kind of standard tune songs, especially if they needed a tremolo arm on there. So and yeah, fitting well. Had kind of is part of that the quintessential Absolution Tour look from my view. Stunning guitar, absolutely, really, really gorgeous guitar, and kicked off that bomber look for this.
Absolutely.
And a shame that it didn't see use out of. It didn't even make it through to the end of the Black Holes tour. It got retired halfway through Black Hole, which is a shame because it looks incredible and had a really good sound as well.
Yeah, I think it was because originally Hugh was going after what became the Chrome bomber, I think, with the finish, and it didn't come out. From what I understand, it didn't come out the way he wanted it to.
There was an error when they were making it, so they embellished that and lent into it, and that's why he got the paint. So that's why I said at the beginning of this is what the Chrome bomber wanted to be.
Yeah.
But there was an error, turned it into a happy accident, and just went with it.
Yeah, because it's kind of, I don't know the exact process, but it's kind of like you take the guitar body and you basically like dip it in this chrome finish.
Chroming, yeah.
Again, I'm not really familiar with the process. Maybe someone can let us know how exactly it's done. But I think you kind of just dip it into this kind of chrome finish, and it's there will be screw ups every time. When there will be multiple like iterations you need to get it right. And obviously the bomber just became one of those iterations of what they were trying to achieve. But yeah, perhaps maybe that's why it didn't make it didn't have such a long life, because they were kind of, I've got the Chrome bomber now, which is what we wanted. We'll probably end up using that instead of the original bomber. But if I'm being honest, I mean, I think the original bomber holds its own against the Chrome bomber.
Absolutely holds its own. I mean, that the colouring on it, the blue into the purple, just adds so much more character.
It really does.
And absolutely nothing against the Chrome bomber. I think that looks great as well. I mean, there's a solid chrome, just like but this one, just a little bit of extra. That blue really, really adds something to me. It looks really good in the Starlight video, because obviously it was used in the Starlight music video. Really, 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 really looks great there. There's very few pro shots of it being used. I like good quality pro shots of it being used. Obviously, you can see it quite well in the Glastonbury show, the Absolution Tour show. That from that, there was one or two pro shots from Black Holes, and obviously there's like pro shots from the Absolution era, but they were just like TV broadcasts, so it's quite compressed, doesn't look great, doesn't do it justice. I think the best look for it probably is either going to be Glastonbury or maybe Pink Pop from 2004.
Glastonbury looked really cool, especially during Bliss, where he really utilised that. I've spoken about that. I think it might have even been on the last podcast where he plays Bliss with that. Was my favourite intro, where he kind of bends the last
string
note
and then brings it up.
Oh, it just sounds so good. If I had a choice of it to only be played one way from now onwards, it would be that way, because it just sounds great. And obviously this was the guitar that he was playing during that song at Glastonbury. So it's a fantastic, it's a classic, isn't it? It's just a classic Matt Bellamy guitar.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. And that is my top 3 pick.
Excellent. Well, we're leaning a little bit more old school, so you've definitely got a good blend with the new and the old, because we're going really forward and we're going really back. So
hit me. Yep. Yeah, I like to go by extremes. Me. But hit me with your number 2, Josh.
All right. Number 2, I have put the Manson Mirror, the original version.
Okay.
The original.
Okay, good. I was starting to worry that we're going to have some overlap in the latter half.
So
cool.
So the original Manson Mirror was it was cladded in perspex mirror. So it's just plastic mirror that could obviously be manipulated round the edge of the guitar, which is interesting because it doesn't have the mirror on top like, say, the M1D1 did. It had mirror that was actually heated with a heat gun and actually formed around the sides of the guitar, and then again there was another sheet that was put on the back. So the whole thing was cladded in mirror, which looks unbelievable. How cool is that for a design? Because before that, Manson weren't the first people to put a sheet of mirror on a guitar. I believe they were the first to actually fully clad a guitar in Perspex mirror. And my God, is that difficult to do? Because I know, because this was well before Manson even started making guitars that were kind of accessible to a wide majority of the audience who didn't have bucket loads of money to purchase them. But I just I'm not selling them. So Manson, if you are watching, I wasn't selling these. All right, I was just making them I was making these for my personal use,
for personal consumption.
Exactly. Yeah. So I used to have a woodworking sort of workshop. I had a load of tools in there, and I did build a replica of this, and there was a lot of swearing, a hell of a lot of swearing while building it. And
some say not enough.
Yeah. It was difficult. It was difficult to get it right. Because the thing is, you have to heat up the mirror, and then you have to form it around the guitar. And sometimes it doesn't form, it doesn't bond correctly. And sometimes you heat it up too much, where it starts to distort the mirror backing on the back of the plastic. So it's really, really, really difficult to get right, and I'm sure that's probably why they've never made a mass production version of this, or even like a signature version of this guitar, because it is such a difficult finish to get right. Even looking at the guitar itself, actually, there are actually errors on it. On the original mirror, there were actually like places where the backing had got a little bit fried from heating it up with the heat gun, but they'd left it in there. I'd probably imagine that's just because like it was taking so many attempts, it was almost impossible to avoid that. It is really, really difficult. So yeah, it's a gorgeous finish, but it is something that takes a lot of craft and a lot of patience to get right. Aside from that, it was first used 2004, and then it was last used in 2013. The reason but it wasn't technically. I mean, that was the last time it was used, because it was there was a Mark II version of this guitar, but this particular version, they actually used, I believe they used the same neck, and then they remade the body in a different way. So it was the War Child gig 2013, where he smashed
Infamous.
it. Yeah, where he smashed it against the Dickinson amp, and you can see all the parts of mirror just flying off of it. And my God, I was absolutely distraught when I saw that.
I was genuinely not understand what was going on.
No,
I
couldn't believe. Fuck? Yeah, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was genuinely upset. That it generally upset me, like to see that happen to that guitar. Like, I think someone said it was something towards the fact that someone said, we're not supposed to swear on there, but someone said madness is shit, like during the gig, and so that it kind of, after that, Matt's kind of like personality on stage really dropped. You can see his mood just completely dropped, and you see during Plug-in Baby, he's genuinely really irritated. He's pissed off. Yeah, you can still see that on the video, and you can observe that, and then obviously he proceeded to take it out on this poor guitar, which was so horrible to see, but nevertheless, it did get remade. But special circuits inside the guitar, so ZVEX Fuzz Factory and MXR Phase 90 being the main two, with obviously it's designed to really be used for Plug-in Baby, or at least it is nowadays. And that's why it kind of, I mean, people know, if you've been a Muse fan, you only started in the last sort of like, 10 years maybe, you know this is the plug-in baby guitar. But before that, it received a lot more use than that. It was for a majority of gigs, it was the Butterflies and Hurricanes guitar.
Certainly the Blackout guitar.
Certainly the Blackout guitar, yeah, that was one of my favourite performances on this song, as I've said so many times on the Harp DVD. I absolutely love that performance of that song, and obviously this guitar takes centre stage for that. It was used for many songs: Assassin, Blackout, Butterflies and Hurricanes, Map of the Problematic, Micro Cuts.
Mimed for Map of the Problematic.
Is that the case? Because I've never seen the performance where it was used for that song.
Yeah, it was just like early Black Holes, like TV promo stuff. It was all mimed. The vocals are live, but the instruments weren't. But yeah, that's
right. Okay,
get in with that. But yeah, mimed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that performance. Micro Cuts, MK Ultra, Neutron Star Collision. Was that right? Is it right?
It is. Yeah, it's right. There was some live performances of this guitar being used for Neutron Star Collision.
Yeah,
100%. Well, I do think that it was used for MK Ultra in the studio. Good, going by the making of.
Right.
Aspect,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Newborn. I remember actually the performance where it was used for Newborn, where the M1D1 mirror.
It was in standard tune.
Yeah, it was in standard tune. Oh, that was embarrassing, wasn't it? And I remember seeing it, and it was that's a funny video to watch because it just sounds wrong.
That gig was interesting. That gig was interesting. They were supporting My Chemical Romance, and they had to stop the gig halfway through because there were some like rowdy kids or something. That show just had disaster written all over it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's so funny just to see that the riff being played in standard, and Matt sort of like looking at the other band members going, something's not right here, please no. And he had to, I mean, to be fair, they did a great job of switching that guitar mid-performance, and then Matt Bellamy obviously subconsciously switching to a mind frame of like, right, I haven't got sustainer on this, I haven't got the MIDI pad, so I'm going to have to work around that. So, but you can see in his playing, he's compensating for the fact there's no sustainer and everything else. So, I thought that was interesting. Moving on though, the plug-in baby, of course, it was used for that. It's been the plug-in baby guitar now for many years.
Fake news.
Fake news. It's not right. Starlight, Supermassive Black Hole, Take a Bow, Time's Running Out, Unnatural Selection, and Uprising. I tell you what, it was the Uprising guitar, wasn't it? For the Resistance tour. Yeah, it was used a hell of a lot for Uprising. But yeah, it generally, after that, it kind of became, or after it was remade, I should say. I mean, it more or less just became the plug-in baby guitar, and there's now 3 variants of this guitar. We had the Mark II, which was very similar. The only changes, I believe, were the pickups. The Fuzz Factory knobs were slightly wider apart on this variant, and the mirror actually had a slight sort of round over on the edges of the mirror, just to probably make it a little bit more comfortable to play. And all of these, the remake of this one and the Mark II were obviously heavily weight relieved, so they had holes drilled in them to get rid of the excess wood, just make it a little bit lighter. Because the original guitar, this one, apparently a lot of his original guitars were really, really heavy, and we're talking like Les Paul 59 heavy.
Wow.
Yeah, so for a man of his kind of like ability to jump around the stage like a leprechaun, I mean, it really doesn't suit that very well.
Oh, that's so funny because Matt's also got Irish heritage as well.
Yeah, so that was anything else that I need to mention about this guitar?
Well, the hardware in the Mark II variant, it had the
it was different
bridge, which is better.
Yeah. That would be the what's it?
It's on my new
Goto.
era. Yeah, Goto doesn't fall off when you haven't got strings on it. Bridge.
That's it.
It's
The locking one that you push in. Yeah, it clips in.
It's a really good system. Really, really good.
Yeah, all of his guitars pretty much feature that now. So because it's so much better for touring when you're changing strings all the time, and yeah, you don't want that falling off, scratching the guitar, and being like, oh crap, I have just scratched. Yeah, I think. Oh, and then the other thing to mention was when it was rebuilt, it didn't feature the kill switch at the top. Because
it was definitely by that era, it was just kill switches were just not being used.
Yeah, exactly. It was. It just. I mean, he obviously brought it back with the push button variant of it, but
but that was a low profile thing. It was a really small button, so it could be hidden away. This is just like this switch that's just kind of in the way. Hence why on my first Manson, I replaced. It actually did have a 3-way toggle switch. Let me just point it for this camera. It did have a 3-way toggle switch, but I took that off and put a button on it because it was just more ergonomic that way, and I would occasionally just catch my hand on it. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, they wired it so the middle setting was the one that cut the signal, wasn't it? And so it wasn't. So if you were like playing the guitar and your hand were to hit it or something, it wouldn't just cut out. You'd look a bit of a knob on stage.
To reference the review of the M1D1 mirror, that guy framed that as saving your blushes mid-performance.
Yeah, that was right.
That's a great way to articulate it. I can remember every aspect of that demo very clearly because I watched it 100 times when I was a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's pretty,
there's one thing about this that I'd always been puzzled by. So around 2006, when it was being used on the lower horn. So again, for my reference, so this part here on the guitar, on the mirror one, there was this kind of strip of what looked like Velcro, the rough side of Velcro, over the top of it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, or if you know what that might have been.
Because I can't see where you're pointing. Do you mean the
let me send you a picture of the bit that I'm referring to.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Right, that's in chat. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about.
Let's have a look. Oh yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I have no idea.
Had you never seen that before?
No. You know what? I've seen this picture so many times. I thought it was a reflection in the mirror.
Yeah, there were so many performances of it where it had this, because you can actually see the reflection. Because actually, this thing, it overhangs the guitar, the mirroring as well, so you can see that it's physically on this.
Maybe to put picks in or something like that. I don't know.
But there's no picks on it, because I thought originally, is it trying to mask some damage? Had it cracked? They hadn't been able to fix.
Well, it did receive damage because there was I can't remember which show it was, but Matt took it off and sort of threw it on the ground, and ever since that performance, the headstock had a little bit of mirror chipped off it. It remained that way for years, all the way up until the point where it was fully destroyed in 2013. It during the Heart performance, if you look closely at the headstock, there is a bit of mirror right at the end of the headstock that is missing.
Yeah, right on the end. So just before or just on the high E string is it's out of shot on mine. Yeah, just before the high E string, that whole section, so about an inch across, in terms of width, but then also across the rest of that part of the headstock. Just gone, and it's just
completely gone.
This kind of grey paint underneath it. Yeah,
I think that was the adhesive that they used to stick the mirror down.
It will be some undercoating sort of thing. But just the feature of that was just gone for ages, and I wondered if maybe that was related to it. But then at some point, so from sometime in 2007, because this damage looked like it was from 2006.
Mm-hmm.
From 2007, it had been repaired. That particular bit of damage, that there was no crack or something.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this guitar is obviously. It was. I think it was his most. No, actually, it wouldn't have been, because they would have had the one of the. It would have been the 7-string Manson, the 7-string E guitar that would have been the oldest. But this would have been one of the oldest rig for years, right up until the point where it was rebuilt. I think it would have been one of his oldest, because sort of
9 years. 9 years.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to. I mean, it doesn't seem to be the original mirror. So after it was rebuilt, it doesn't. I think it's kind of been retired from use now. It was seen 2024. This end of year 2024 was the last time it was seen. But since then, it's kind of either been the Mark II or the new one that he's got. Which is not a mirror. It just has the one that's got that new kind of dark chrome finish. He tends to use that for Plug-in Baby now, but obviously now he's made they've got the new one that's been built. I think that's pretty much everything for this guitar. But nevertheless, it's such a beautiful guitar. You know, the way it reflects light, stuff on stage. It's just It really was part of the show.
It's very glam. Very glam.
Definitely. Well, let's hear your number 2.
Welcome back. We are now going into my top 2. Are we ready? We have already had this on. My number 2 is the Manson M1D1 Black, the double P90 XY pad. So we won't go into it too much because it's already been done. But yeah, to go over it, the XY pad is not a Chaos pad itself. It is just an XY pad. It can do 2 axis, as in up and across. So it can be used to control a core Chaos pad. It can be used to control a whammy pedal. It can be used to control kind of anything, really.
Anything you like.
Anything you like. I've used mine to control settings on plugins in Logic when I've recorded music.
Yeah, it's a great way of utilizing it. I mean, they've said, as they've said in many interviews, the possibilities are endless.
Very endless. I just love this guitar so much. I love that there's 2 pickups at the bridge position. Basically, I call it like the bridge. I even built my own guitar based off it because I love that configuration and the possibilities of it. I actually took this one a bit further. So as I said earlier, when I was building this, I contacted Bare Knuckle Pickups, who told me that the pickups in Matt's guitar are Nantuckets, and just go, oh my God.
You're going for it today.
Making all these horrible noises. They're not BKP 92s. They are Nantucket, these kind of vintage voiced pickups, because that's the kind of sound that Matt liked. In that guitar that I built is a 10-way switch. So as well as going across it, the selector also pulls up, and you can go that way. So on the lower section, the guitar is wired like a Strat. So you got bridge, middle, neck. And then when you flick it up, it then goes between series and parallel. So you've got 10 sounds in there.
It's like a Brian May configuration, isn't it?
Yeah, and then one of those settings, it makes the whole thing sound like a hollow body guitar. It's insane. That guitar is so versatile.
Yeah, nice.
Sounds incredible. I love using it. And no one ever comments on it. No one ever goes, "Oh, what guitar is that?" And they're like, I built it myself. And then the electronics are just a master volume, tone, and then a kill button. So it's that guitar is a supermassive P90 at the bridge, then the Nantucket in the middle, and then a flat 52 in the neck. And they've all got a carbon fiber kind of finish decal to it. Great guitar. But I absolutely love the MIDI black because of that pickup configuration, the look of it, the capabilities of it. The electronics for it, master volume, master tone, pickup selector, and that second knob next to the tone is actually a rotary MIDI selector.
Yeah.
So when you connect it to something, you can like cycle through presets. I have played the prototype of this guitar.
Really?
Yeah. So 2019, I went down to Exeter because I was working for a couple of days in Exeter. That's part of my job. And in Exeter was the Manson Guitar Shop. And I thought, fuck doing my job. I'm going to go to a guitar shop. Walked in and said, can I play the Matt Bellamy prototype? And I sat myself down and got to play it. And if this works, I don't know if you can send pictures in chat, but we're gonna try it. I'm gonna send a picture of me playing it to you, Josh.
Let's have a look.
Never shared these pictures with anyone, but that's me in 2019. Very sweaty, overly excited, just playing this guitar. They should be in chat with you. Are they with you?
I've got it. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, I also got to play this as well, which is I will put these on screen. So they got two images of the guitar. There's me holding it, then a close up of what the pickups kind of look like.
My God,
you'll notice that it doesn't have the kind of the second knob, the rotary MIDI control knob on there as the prototype, and it also had a kill button on there as well.
Yeah.
So you can see how this was prototyped and then do that. And then the other guitar that I got to play was the 7-string that Matt had made for him in like 2015.
Yep. Was this the actual one? Oh, it's not the original.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
It is.
That's the one he used on stage. The set. Obviously that's not the original. The second.
Yeah. Because
wow.
Because by this point in 2019, it had stopped being used, and so they had it back. Oh, I think, or it's at least this exact same specs. It's not the original one because the inlays on the neck are closer together on the original one, and the scratch plate's a different color. But yeah, that was me.
I'm not sure if does his. I think he has it back now because I'm sure I saw a picture of his son playing it. His son Bing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sure he was sort of attempting a few songs on it, a few Muse tracks. Obviously, Citizens Erased. But yeah, no, he was playing that guitar. You can always the way I always tell from the original is that it's just the thing that strikes you immediately is it's a lot brighter. The finish on it than the original.
It's so much more vibrant. Yeah. And I think the scratch plate is different. Although I'm pretty sure on the pickup got swapped out. Because on this image that you've got, but then also on some of the images that were produced, the pickups look like that. But then on one or two of the images that I've seen of it, you can actually see like writing in the middle of the pickup, which is probably just the Manson logo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just for added what have you. But yeah, I got to play that. But yeah, that my top 2 pick is the M1D1 Black, MIDI Black, double P90, whatever you want to call it. It just looks incredible, sounds great, really versatile guitar. We've already been over the songs that it got used for. So in terms of like music videos, it got used for was the Invincible video, the Neutron Star Collision video, the alternative Supermassive Black Hole video. And then, got stopped last used in 2011 at the Reading show. Last song ever used, but time was running out, but then got use in the studio for Second Law and for Drones. Apparently, it was used as like the warm-up guitar for the Second Law tour, never used live.
Yeah.
But
it's I mean, nevertheless, it's still very well loved by Matt.
Yeah, I absolutely love that guitar. And when you and I have spoken about, I want to know what these guitars are doing. Where are they? This is kind of the one that I always think of where is it? Is it in his house?
Where is it? Where are all these guitars?
I'd love to see it brought back for like a special use or one day I would love to kind of see a video produced of Matt going through all of his gear. Because you and I have been over before. They hoard all their stuff. I mean, they have sold a bunch of it on Reverb, but they still have a lot of their stuff. And I'd just love to see just Matt just go through all of his kind of guitars and kind of talk about what it was used live for, what it's like to live with it.
It reminds me of that video when Lewis Hamilton retired from Mercedes, and he was going through all of his cars with Toto Wolff, and they were, he was bringing back all the memories and saying, "Oh, I remember this one," and I remember blah 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 blah, and bringing back memories. And I would love to see him and Manson do a documentary almost on like an hour. I wouldn't care if it was 6-7 hours long. I'd watch the whole thing.
I'd watch the whole thing. Yeah. Absolutely. Adrian, if you're watching or listening, I don't think I'd be surprised if you were, but if you ever need to do something like that, hit me up. I will film. I will do everything. I will come down and be a part of that project. I would love to be a part of that.
I'll come down, do nothing, and just ponce.
Scratch so many itches in my brain of like, I want to know what that guitar's doing.
Yeah. It would be great to hear what, because if we could get Adrian on and he could, answer, or anyone from Manson who could answer sort of some of the questions of like, where are these guitars? What happened to them? Where's this one? What happened to even the ones that, that obviously got broken, where are they now? It'd be great to know where all of these guitars are, and obviously which ones does Matt Bellamy hold, still have in his house. Like we know that, I think the only one we know that he keeps close with him is the DeLorean. I'm pretty sure he keeps that in his house, in his fortress. But where are the rest of them? Them? There's so many, so much history.
He's had a lot. There's got to be like enough to fill a warehouse with almost.
Yeah. Be great.
But anyway, that was my number 2 pick, which was your number 4 pick.
Yes. Right, yeah.
Trying to remember rightly. Yeah, right. Regale us. Tell us your number 1.
Number 1, guitar. This took a lot of thinking. It really didn't. I always knew, I always had this guitar as my number 1. I look at this guitar and I just it brings back so many memories, and it's just the best looking guitar I've ever seen in my life. And that is the original Manson Red Glitter.
I had a feeling it would be this.
Oh, it is just. I'm not going to go into this too much because I will waffle on about this guitar and how much I love it and how much I absolutely adore it. But it's. I did before I go into the specs. I did make start making a replica of this guitar, which I will demonstrate.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so I made this myself quite a few years ago, and it took me a long time to get the shape of the body right, and I never really finished it. It was a project that because we kind of moved house, and I sort of lost my area of my workshop, if you like. But yeah, this is essentially based. It's going to be that guitar. There's a few differences, obviously, which I will correct once I get round to perhaps finishing it. But yeah, that is my own iteration of this guitar.
Wow.
So in terms of the finish on the guitar, I mean, it's a Triumph red finish with it says pink and holographic glitter. There's no pink glitter on there. It's just holographic glitter, very fine holographic glitter, which changes in the light, which might have confused some people to thinking there was pink glitter on there, but there's not. Obviously the glitter is very different to any of the signature guitars that have come out, and obviously the Mark II variant of this guitar. The glitter on this guitar is very dense. It's very, very dense, and it goes down in those signature kind of stripes, which gave it its real unique appearance.
That's on the front and the back.
Yep.
Actually, those kind of, I kind of looked at them as kind of claws.
Yeah,
rather than like stripes.
It looks like a Christmas tree, doesn't it? It looks like tinsel. Yeah, and that's how it got its name, because it was called a few things, but I think Matt referred to it as Santa, didn't he? So,
Well, it also was used on what was the Christmas video performance of Uprising.
Yeah, I thought that was
good.
good.
The song came out, and then, get the Santa guitar out.
Great
Let's do
guitar
a Christmas song. Let's talk about sing Uprising, a song about overthrowing governments. Okay, that's jolly. That's Christmassy.
But we got the guitar at least that suits the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it had an ash body, bird's eye maple neck, and ebony fretboard. It's obviously a MIDI pad guitar. Had a aluminium surround, which is wrong on my one. It's a mirror surround that's on my replica, so I would obviously want to change that. But yeah, it's an aluminium surround on his one. So one volume, one tone, 3-way selector, Fernandez Sustainer, FSK 401. I've also got one of those here if anybody wants to see it. So that is the Fernandez Sustainer pickup there. And this is the circuit board that is actually in that guitar. So that's where the two black switches come from there. Obviously one turning it on, and the other for high and low, which is indicated very nicely by his little stickers that he likes to keep on his guitars in case he forgets after all these years of how these things work.
I don't know how that happens. The high and the low, there's no middle position in that one. It's just high and low. Yeah,
that's right. So on the Fernandez Sustainer, you have high or low. On the new Sustainiac pickups, you have a middle position, which is kind of a blend between high and low. So, but that didn't exist on the Fernandez Sustainer, which was obviously present in a lot of his guitars. Sort of around 2015 is when they started shifting over to the Sustainiac. I think there was a period in the Drones tour where they started to have guitars made with Fernandez Sustainers and some made with Sustainiac.
Yeah, there was some crossover.
Yeah, and by the time we got to sort of Simulation Theory, all of his guitars had pretty much switched over to Sustainiacs. So in terms of the history about the guitar, so the finish actually came. The reason it was called Triumph Red is because Hugh had something like a kit car, and it came with this paint, and it was a Triumph kit car. So and he used that paint on this guitar, and it's really bright and vibrant. In some pictures, actually, it almost looks slightly pinkish. So it has kind of like a pink sort of undertone to it as well. Depends on the light. And he said, so Matt came to him and said that he basically wanted something that has a bit more of a glam look, something that has something with sparkles is what he wrote down. And then this is basically what Hugh came up with. I think he delivered on that, and he actually referenced Christmas cards because he was using a wheat sieve to actually put the glitter on the guitars. And he said it really reminded him of making Christmas cards when he was younger, which I can see exactly why. So the guitar was really, I mean, it came in sort of during the Black Holes and Revelations era, sort of around a similar sort of time, a little bit after that the Alley Top came in.
Yep.
And it was used very, very heavily as well. Generally, it was used for songs requiring drop D tuning. So Stockholm Syndrome, Newborn. But it was also used for songs like in standard tuning. So, for example, in the Harp DVD, he was using it for Supermassive Black Hole, and then later it was tuned down drop D to backstage for use later on in the set for Newborn and Stockholm Syndrome as well, and microcuts. Oh, and also I should mention it has a Manson MBK2, which I also have here as well.
I was going to say,
yeah. This is an original. This is an original one with the original Manson logo on it, and I bought it in, I think it was around 2014. So it's quite old. A lot of these parts, and they're not difficult. They're difficult to come by nowadays.
They are difficult to come by. Yeah, it's amazing that you got hold of an MBK2. It's a brilliant pickup. It's what's in my first Manson, and I also have it in my Ibanez. So the neck pickup is that Mississippi Queen, and the bridge is the MBK2. Amazing pickup. I think it's superior to the PF1 that's in Matt's guitars now. I think it just has a better, well-rounded sound to it. It's much more versatile.
Yeah,
because I think the
definitely.
PF1 just runs a bit too hot. To this one, just
It's a very hot pickup.
Yeah. This one's just a lot more versatile for everyday use.
Definitely. So the guitar actually, fortunately, very unfortunately, again, this is another one I was really upset about, that the Staples Center gig.
How this happened is so dumb.
It's stupid. It's so stupid. But I mean, to backtrack a little bit, the guitar has obviously been, it started to be thrown around quite a lot. I mean, after Stockholm Syndrome, it was literally just, this guitar was beaten. I mean, it was thrown into Dom's kick drum so many times. It was lobbed about, hitting various parts of the stage set. And by the time it had been into Hugh's workshop so many times to be repaired. The worst one was the Wembley gig, where he had to use a MB1 in replacement for the second night, because he had damaged it so bad. It had cracked the part where the cavity where all the electronics sit, which is obviously the weakest point really of the guitar body. And but he managed to glue it back together. God knows how, genius. But I mean, he managed to get all the pieces back together, and it did come back after that. But eventually, in the LA Staples Center.
There's pictures of it with that. The big chunk of the back came out.
Yeah, if you want to see the damage, have a look on Muse Wiki. It was actually present in the museum, being Museum. For the Drones tour, so you can see that pictures of that guitar and basically the extent of the damage, but it had already been weakened through that area because it had been rebuilt in that area before, due to it being thrown around so much. But yeah, the Staples Center gig in 2010, 26th of September, was where it met its end, basically. So anyone who remembers that tour, they had 3 towers. That was the stage set, and they'd start off the gig. The curtains that were covering these towers would basically fall down and would reveal the band. Now, on one of those towers, right at the back, is a guitar rack for all of the guitars that Matt basically needs while he's up on the tower, because the guitar tech can't access that particular part of the stage. So
they were up there for 3 songs. It would come down it would start coming down on Newborn, wouldn't it? So it'd be Uprising, then Resistance, and then Newborn, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I think that was right. So
it necessitated 3 guitars, because Uprising is in almost an open G tuning, then Resistance in standard, and then Newborn in drop D.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the essentially the curtains fell, revealing the band, and it had caught on the necks of the guitar in the actual guitar rack itself. In there was the red glitter and also the Manson Mirror double neck guitar. Really, I mean, imagine both of them got broken. At least one of them survived.
How the one with 2 necks, more surface area, more vulnerable, however you want to call it, how that survived and this didn't, I do not know.
God knows. Yeah. So the curtains got caught on it, and the roadies are thinking that it's basically got caught on the stage or something, unaware. So they're pulling on this curtain to try and get it off the tower. Yeah, they must have been yanking it pretty hard, and it has just pulled the entire guitar rack off the tower, and it's fallen. I don't know how high was it? How high would you say?
You keep talking. I'm going to try and find out. Muse Resistance.
Well, while you're looking at that, basically, yeah, so it's fallen. It's hit the ground, and that is when the guitar is basically just split where the cavity is. And that was the end
Would
of
you
the
say-
red glitter.
Would you say Chris is 6 foot?
Yes.
Okay.
Might even be over.
Okay. Well, let's just say he's 6 feet tall. I'm better in meters, but it's just kind of more rounded if it's in feet. It's like almost 3 Chris's tall. So 18 feet.
Yeah, something like that. Let's call it 18, 20 feet maybe.
Yeah,
So it's
if
a
you fell
heavy
off, it
fall.
wouldn't kill you, but it might hurt you or break your leg or break your $3,000 guitar.
Indeed, and that's exactly what happened here. So yeah, that was really sad to see that. But again, I think it was coming to the end of its life anyway, because it had been repaired so many times due to him sort of throwing it about all the time. But he did say it was one of his favourite guitars. Didn't show
don't
it.
throw it around then, Matt.
Didn't show it, really, did it? I mean,
that's an abusive relationship if ever I saw one of it. I love you so much.
yeah, that's a proper Chris Brown relationship. That is, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh.
But yeah, what a sad.
Hang on. I need a second. Oh, I'm back in the room.
You're back, are you?
I'm back. Oh,
Well,
to go back to go back to some things we're talking about. There was another website that had a bunch of archive photographs of various Manson guitars, not just for Matt, but like of other guitars as well. That was mansonguitars.co.uk. For those of you if you've ever heard of it, it's a super old website. I'm trying to open it up now to see if it works, but it's super old, so it might be really slow to open, or it might be just a completely dead website at this point. But it just had images of old Manson guitars. It looked incredible. Really.
The original images, yeah, the black background and.
Well, depends. If this website works, I will. I'll show you. But it's not looking great.
Yeah, so I mean that was pretty much the end of the life of that guitar. Then in place of it was the MB1 red glitter, and you can really see how much the MB1 red glitter just doesn't look like the original, because it just lacks the amount of glitter that's on it. The amount of glitter that was. I mean, you'd think there's a glitter shortage. When Manson were building, when they were building, it was just like, we don't want to give, we don't have a lot of glitter and we need to save it for Matt's guitars. But the glitter on the MB1s is so minimal. It is so minimal. It's like spec. Yeah, it's so minimal. And it has it's so much lacquer on that guitar. It's so reflective. It's so glossy compared to the original. Which just doesn't look anywhere near as built up on the lacquer. So he was using that until he got the replacement, which was the Red Glitter 2.0 or the Santa 2.0, whatever you want to call it. Son of Santa. Yeah, had a few different names.
No. Sorry, no. That was the MB2. That was the MB1 signature one. No.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
Okay. That was my fault.
But it had.
My God, where are you?
Glitter
2.0, new Glitterati.
Yeah, new Glitterati. But it had the glitter in a really it didn't follow the nice line pattern that the original had. They seemed to stray away from that, and it just seemed to sort of have glitter
much more
everywhere.
Uniform. Yeah.
But still very, a very, very nice looking guitar. But then, obviously that one just ended up going down the route of its predecessor of being beaten until the point where
straight up
it retired.
The neck out.
Yeah, which is obviously a signature look, having that DL1 neck on the
I
on the
love
Manson.
that look. I love that red and grey, because that's essentially what silver is. That red and grey combo looks amazing.
It really does look cool, actually. Yeah, that was one thing I liked about the 2.0.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'd like. If I ever got if I ever got another Manson guitar and it was a red one, I'd be like, can I get a grey headstock? Can I get a silver headstock?
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for that guitar. I mean, one thing I will mention is that whenever I've shown the Harp DVD to people that don't know Muse, and they sort of, mainly the Supermassive Black Hole performance, which was the first song it was used on for Harp, whenever he turns round revealing that glitter finish, and you can see it literally just glistening in the sunlight of Wembley Stadium, it looks incredible. Anyone who hasn't seen that video, I'm sure everyone has now, but have a look and just go and watch it again, and you'll see what I mean. But the finish on it is absolutely incredible, and that's why it's my number one. I think of Muse, I think of this guitar, and vice versa.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What songs was it used for?
Oh yeah, so it was used for America, Dead Star, Butterflies and Hurricanes, one occasion, Exogenesis Symphony Part 1, Hysteria, Map of the Problematic, Microcuts, MK Ultra, Newborn, Popcorn, Resistance, Stockholm Syndrome, Supermassive Black Hole, Take a Bow, Time is Running Out, Unintended, Unnatural Selection, and Uprising.
Bizarre that it was used for Unintended.
Yeah, because it was always acoustic back then if they played it.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like this kind of like this screaming glam guitar with like a big fat humbucker in it. Yeah, let's unintended. Let's make it quiet. What?
Yeah, strange choice. I mean, maybe they just don't know. Maybe the acoustic wasn't working, or the original guitar they had intended, pun intended. I'm doing puns within puns.
You're doing puns within puns. Oh my god, pun intended. Oh my god, that's so good.
I'm really on fire today.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So essentially, that if whatever guitar they chose, ended up. I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused with all the puns. Whatever. I'm trying not to use that word again. So whatever guitar they meant to use for Unintended, they didn't end up using, and probably ended up using the red glitter as a substitute, I imagine. So
maybe. I mean, they could have just like naturally kind of just gone that way to keep it electric. I mean, like when they played Unintended at the Brixton gig, it was on electric, and they'd done Unintended previously, and it was on electric as well. Maybe they just made that transition.
Yeah, if that's what they intended.
If that's.
Oh, come on! Let's hear your number one.
We're back. Let's talk about. We've just had your top one pick, the original red glitter guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning in all its red glory.
Absolutely.
With my number one pick, we're going super old school.
Ooh, I can have a guess. But go on.
Okay. Lay it on me. What do you think?
Oh, you want me to guess before? What happens if I guess right?
Yeah. Well, then you guess right. You get a well done.
Either 007 or DeLorean.
I need you to be specific. I need you to pick. I need you to commit. None of this hedging your bet, bollock.
I'm gonna go DeLorean.
Ah, Mr. Bond. Of course, it's 007.
Oh.
You were so close. You should have. And you even said it first. DeLorean's great, but 007 just does it better. Made all the way back in we don't know somewhere 2001. What hasn't this guitar got in it? What can't this guitar do? It's the first like black guitar that Matt had made. It's not like a matte black because it's just black paint that has just shined up over the years. It's got a kill switch. It's got a sustainer. It's got a ribbon MIDI strip from a Roland J800 keyboard. It's got a ZVEX wah probe. It's got a ZVEX fuzz factory. It's got a piezo pickup in the bridge in the original configuration. It's got it's got lights probe in the neck. That's what I said.
Did you say what? Oh,
yeah, the ZVEX wah probe. ZVEX wah probe, ZVEX fuzz factory, rotary controls on it to control that the blend of the sustainer pickup. Just incredible, gorgeous guitar, aged like a fine wine, just amazing. took a hell of a lot of beatings. It split in half at one point.
Yeah.
And then had to be glued back together. During the Absolution tour in the States, Matt, they were playing a show, and Matt then just threw it into a dumpster, and then that upset me. I've only ever watched the behind the scenes or the Absolution tour documentary once, and that scene where Matt throws it into the bin, and then you see this American guy, I was going to say something horrible then, but this American guy fish it out and be like, right, that's mine. That broke me as a little muselet, little muser. I was like,
I don't even like thinking about it. Yeah. It just breaks your heart.
I can never watch that documentary again because I have I love this guitar so much because of how it looks. Yeah. It was around 2005 when I discovered Muse, and I'd watched like the Time Is Running Out music video, which this is from. And so I immediately associated that guitar with that song, which at the time I loved that song. I think it was one of my favorite songs then. Still love that song, but I think there are stronger ones. So I really identified with this guitar. It was great, and it was just incredible. Over the years, it kind of changed a bit. So he put a P90, the Mississippi Queen, in the bridge. In the Black Holes era, when they were kind of experimenting with new sounds and new approaches, took out the piezo bridge and put in a normal bridge, so it doesn't have the piezo sound in it. That was also in the DeLorean as well, but that got taken out. There was also the DeLorean had a P90 put into it as well, but then the DeLorean was retired, whereas the 007 carried on right until the end of. It
was the Starlight guitar, wasn't it?
It was the Starlight guitar. It made its way all the way up to 2011. Retired from live use, but stayed in studio use, presumably up to this day, because it was used on Simulation Theory for sure, and I have to imagine it was still used on Will of the People, to the point where they made a special, very limited run of this guitar from Manson Guitar Works. Way back when, years ago, when Matt did become majority shareholder of the guitar, he announced that things that he wanted to do with signatures that they would put out. They did say that they would do the DeLorean one, the DL that came out, and that they would do the 007 one. And then years went by and nothing happened, and then it did eventually come out. Really, really super pleased to see.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the original ones. It's lasted so long.
Yeah.
And super versatile. There's a contact of mine who has bought one of the new era versions of the 007, and he's really pleased with it. And he will put it in my hands at some point in a few months' time, where he will come up and lend it to me. So watch out for that series of videos where I will do a cover with it. I will also do an in-depth review of it. But I'm super excited by it.
Yeah,
it's just got a specific sound, just an incredible sound to it, and a really kind of like very iconic sound to it. I believe it's the guitar that was used for "Break It to Me." Obviously in the studio version.
Yeah.
Someone thought that Matt used a 7-string for "Break It to Me." I was like, no, because of the way that the Mississippi Queen pickup sounds, it's very specific, and it just sounds like that song. But it's been used all over for all sorts of things. Obviously, unsustainable as well, as we've seen. But yeah, speaking of songs, this for live at least, this was used for Assassin. I would imagine that was like 2005 when they were in the US touring for for Absolution. Back in Black for their special, the couple of times that they've played that song.
Yeah.
Butterflies and Hurricanes, Dead Star, Exopolitics, Fury, apparently. Hyper Music, Hysteria, In Your World, Newborn, Panic Station for the recording. Obviously, it was big on recording in the studio. Sync for Absolution, Starlight, obviously. Stockholm Syndrome, The Groove, Thoughts of Dying Atheist, Unnatural Selection, Unsustainable in the studio. Uprising, and Where the Streets Have No Name, where The Edge did a guest appearance for them at the 2010 Glastonbury show because U2 backed out and were replaced by Gorillaz. That performance by Gorillaz was incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Plastic Beach tour, and brilliant, huge, great one. But back to this guitar. Survived so much and took so much heat. An absolute like workhorse, especially in the studio. I don't have enough words.
You know what? One of the performances for me that it really stands out on is the Stockholm Syndrome performance at
Earl's Court.
Get this wrong. Earl's Court. That's it. Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Because he opens it up. He uses the wah probe.
And he's doing the hand. And then he leaves it on, which gives the riff this super amazing sort of half-cocked wah sound.
Yeah, that
which
nasal
sounds
sound,
so good. So good. I'd say that's probably the best live performance of that song, like, or maybe like best sounding at least.
Yeah. When I play Stockholm, I do that because I just have a normal wah in my rig.
Yeah.
I sometimes do that just because it's as though like that riff was made for that sort of sound, that really super nasally, like just like
that kind of Mark Knopfler sort of half-cocked wah sound. Yeah.
Yeah. It works so well, and that just kind of adds to the gadgets in that guitar. Matt didn't overly use them.
No.
I saw him only ever use the First Factory on this once, which was for a promo show in Australia in the build up to the big weekend show in 2004. They were doing Hysteria, and they came on stage and did all the weird kind of delay sound, and Matt just had the First Factory on to get that, and then before they start, and then goes into the bass line. That's the only time I've seen that First Factory be used, or you could argue that the Earl's Court show as well. And then the Sustainer, I'd only ever seen it used when they did Starlight on. Oh, was it like later with Jules Holland in 2006?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because he used to play those kind of intro sort of sustained notes, didn't he? To kind of, it's almost like the guitar acting as a synth in the background, almost like strings in a way, actually.
Yeah.
Which he does actually do. He stopped doing that, and then he brought it back sort of during sort of Drone's time, I think, and he started doing that kind of that intro with the Sustainer again. But I agree with about the look of the guitar, because if I tell you what it would be, if it didn't have that swirled scratch plate for the wah probe, its looks would definitely go down a fair bit, in my opinion. It's that contrast between the black and the gold that just looks so cool. It's such a cool look, and you can recognize that guitar anywhere. It's just, you see it, and there's only one man that plays it. You know, it's just it's got that striking look about it, and it looks like nothing else we've ever seen before.
It's brilliantly like composed and designed. I think they might not have kind of thought about the aesthetics of it, but that little bit of, I think it's more of a copper, but that little bit of color there to offset it is great. And then the story behind the strip on it was Matt wanted a guitar that he could control a whammy with it, as opposed to putting a whammy pedal in there. Why not control it with MIDI? So it's an X pad or a Y pad. It just does one direction. So that's why it can control a whammy pedal. It just needs to have one axis of data going there. So they took the ribbon controller from a Roland J800 keyboard and just put it in there to save on having a guitar full of 9-volt batteries that would last half a second. You just need to have a MIDI. It's just a MIDI control. And then it was put in the Bomber, as I mentioned earlier. And then that concept, that technology kind of then refined and turned into a Chaos pad used by. Pretty early on, 2001. Now, obviously Muse started in 1994, but by their second album, Manson had kind of like laid the groundwork for guitars that we kind of thought, oh, only from 2006. That's 5 years difference, but to kind of go that early on in their career, 5 years is quite a large amount of time. In our scale now, it's not a lot of time at all, but that kind of groundwork, with the shape of the guitar, the technology in the guitars had been by custom guitar number 2, because that's what this is. It was DeLorean and then this. The 7-string is actually a second-hand guitar, so it was actually made for some jazz guitarists.
Yeah, that's right.
And not even the MB shape, so kind of skip over that. By guitar number 2, everything had been explored because it's got a sustainer in there. It had that motherbucker pickup in there to begin with, so a big humbucker sound. Then
was it the first guitar to have a sustainer?
Yes.
Yeah,
because DeLorean didn't. It was just the motherbucker and the Seymour Duncan.
Yeah.
So the whole trajectory of the entire, like, up to now, beyond, it had been mapped out there, but they just went extra with everything. Let's put a Ribber controller in there. Let's put this fuzz factor in there. Let's put this wah probe in there. Let's put these lights in there.
It's incredible job by Ron Joyce, who does all the
does all the wiring.
He did, I think he still plays a part in it. Obviously, I'm not sure if he's wiring every single guitar they do now, but back then, obviously, certainly the work, but it would have all been designed and wired by him in terms of the electronics. So yeah, he did an incredible job to achieve that. Insane job.
And this is one of my all-time favorite. One of my all-time favorite guitars ever. It's a real toss-up between this and my top 2 choice, the Black MIDI. But I think this one has to kind of inch out. But I absolutely love the Black MIDI one, but this one just kind of inches up ever so slightly, just for so many reasons. And I just wish I had the amount of money required to have bought one of the special signature ones, but alas, wasn't meant to be. An incredible guitar, looks great, sounds great, probably plays great. But I heard that it is like really quite heavy, and as you said, the earlier ones in particular were really quite heavy as well. It's a mahogany body, so there's some weight there.
Yeah, it would have been super heavy.
Yeah.
It's also got the I'm not sure if you mentioned this, the LEDs on the neck.
Yeah, so it lights in the neck. I did say that.
Okay, you did say that.
Inlay. Yes, the dots up the side, not on the fretboard, not on the fretboard ones. It's up the side, which actually is a lot more ergonomic because you actually look for the dots on the side of the guitar rather than the fretboard. So nice blue LEDs to make that kind of light up and so on.
Yeah, fantastic.
But that's my top pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this guitar would have to be somewhere at the very least on a list. I'm glad you put it as your number one because it certainly deserves that spot.
Absolutely deserves it. And I also, to reflect on it, I like that we only had one crossover.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the choices. I was happy to see that as well. The choices are really varied, weren't they? So we got to cover a good range of guitars. But I mean, I think it'd be nice to finish off the video with perhaps going through a few honourable mentions.
Absolutely. I mean, what I will also say, we allotted 8 minutes per choice.
We did.
This. And we've gone. So this video should have come in under an hour.
It has not.
And it demonstrably hasn't, just because we've been fawning over these guitars. But yeah, by all
mission
means.
Failed.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Time.
Absolutely. Let's talk about honourable mentions. I've got a list of honourable mentions. You hit me with yours again, but just kind of quick fire.
Yeah, we're going to quick fire this. The DeLorean, of course.
Yep.
We don't need to explain that. The Matt Black series, including the Stealth, which were introduced around the Drones era, obviously, just because the fact that they played a huge role they were used for so many songs, and they continue to be used for so many songs today. So they've just become workhorses, haven't they?
Synonymous, yeah.
For that reason, I think they deserve a spot. The 007, I put that on there as well, which we've just covered.
Correct.
The double neck, Manson double neck, because it's the one and only Manson double neck that was made for Matt. And I love the fact it had the fretless neck on the top for the intros for Resistance and of course Uprising as well, which I think they're some of the best intros for those songs ever. And I'd also included a modern pick, which you've covered as well, which was the Troncaster.
Oh, very good. Oh.
Yeah. So those were my my honourable mentions.
My honourable mentions in no particular order, but there is an order because that's just how I've written them. So number 1, Laser Manson. That was stunning. DeLorean for obvious reasons. The Mirror Bomber.
Oh, the Chrome Bomber, yeah.
Yeah, the Chrome one, just Mirror Bomber, just the same one. First red glitter one, as you've already done. That was actually your pick as well. And the last one for me, the Alley Top, again, another one of your picks.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, those are honourable mentions, but I think because of the kind of the amount of fans we are, the caliber of our fanness, I think all of these guitars probably are kind of, all deserving of mention, all honourable mentions, but some are more equal than others. Not to say that they're all brilliant. I mean, it might be just subject to the song that it was related to, but the acoustic Manson can probably get in the bin.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't it was not even a true Manson. It was made by Hugh Manson's brother,
Andy
which was Andy Manson, who makes the acoustic.
Still by name. I mean, no, because Andy makes really great guitars, and it's the Matt Bellamy shape. I think just because it's tarnished by being associated with something human, it's not as. But that makes me sound horrible. But so I don't mean to say that. But everything else, I mean, let's just briefly. There was what was it? The Rust relic that Matt took delivery of at the Earl's Court around the Earl's Court gig, but didn't like it. I imagine
didn't like it.
Probably, to my mind, only because there wasn't a tremlock system on there.
Yeah.
Because the other, and then it was later sold. And Kevin, one of the Burton brothers, got it briefly.
Yeah, I think he did. He
Insane,
did.
Incredible. And then that got sold on, and so that means that a Matt Bellamy shape got sold early on. If not, that was kind of the first one to be sold. That one, I think that's very much kind of worth a note to look in as well. And then of course the Kitara guitars as well, not really guitars, but made the Matt Bellamy shape. One of them had the Tron neon binding around it.
Yeah,
all of these guitars are just incredible, amazing works of art. Obviously, the earlier ones had more kind of theatrics or a kind of art direction behind them, and then as they've gone on, it's just turned into a matte paint job over the top of it. Some of them are kind of gone back into it, like the Copper Bombers or the Xenochroma bomber kind of had this kind of like distressed metal look to it.
Yeah, so many cool finishes.
Strong.
So many cool finishes and things that they've attempted over the years and experimented with. It's just they really are like pioneers in terms of not only the electronics but just the way that guitars look. They've just this is why I really don't like any kind of guitars anymore that just aren't Mansons, because I just think that they're, in my opinion, they're the gold standard of what a modern guitar should look like and sound like, and in terms of how it functions electronically. I think this is they've taken it as far as you can with a guitar, and I love the innovation.
And then some. They're not afraid to try new things. I mean, they've got the Matt Bellamy shape. I mean, they don't do it anymore, but the Evo shape as well. They've got the Oryx shape. and whatever, however you'd kind of articulate Mikey Demus's shape for. They're always trying to try new things and really kind of cut themselves separate from everyone else. And one of the things I absolutely, the last thing I'll say about them as a brand that I absolutely love is just that they're a small scale British manufacturer. And I just think that's like really important. Most emphasis on kind of the small scale, which actually I think helps enhance their customer service and their attention to detail.
100%.
Because if it was something the scale of something like Fender, you get so many duds with Fender. You really do. That's just mass production. But with something with more care, more eyes on, more attention to detail, more love with every single product that they make, everything is truly like sublime and brilliant with what they do. I've got my Mansons. I've played other Mansons as well when I've seen them at the guitar show, and one or two other people that I've known who've had Mansons I've had a hold of, and every single one of them feels great, sounds great, plays great. They are, as I think you've put it really well, they are the gold standard, I would argue, of like guitar manufacturing. And to have such a high quality of manufacturer that is a British brand that makes guitars for another British band and other artists as well, I think really puts them on the map. And you've seen them grow over the years. I'm just excited for them to do new things in future.
100%. And I think as well, just before we obviously finish off, is I wanted to mention that I think new bands that are upcoming should really take a leaf out of Matt Bellamy's book in the terms that he's gone out and made something for himself that suits him. I would encourage other guitar players to, if they can, to do something similar. It's fine if you start off on a Strat or a Les Paul or a Telecaster or anything else. That's absolutely fine. But if you're going to take your music career seriously and the guitar is going to be an instrument that you play often, I would really encourage that you go to a local luthier or something like that and say, listen, I've done a drawing of what I'd like my guitar to look like. Can you make it for me and get someone to wire it up and just get one? Do you know what I mean? That you can, because that's how it started for Matt. He had the DeLorean. That was the one that he got Hugh to build for him. And I would really encourage, I'd like to see more unique things like that. Is there a pedal that you frequently use all the time? Why not build it into the guitar? Like Matt did. Like it doesn't have to be a fuzz factory, but maybe if that's a pedal you're using all the time, put it in the guitar. Just be different. Don't go for the easy option that's been done to death of buying a Les Paul or using a Strat.
That is one of the reasons why I do not like Les Pauls. I do not like Strats because they're so generic.
They're so generic, yeah.
I started playing guitar when I was 13, and every birthday I would get a birthday card. One of them would be a guitar. Obviously, I'm very happy to receive a birthday card. It's just, it's not so much that my family members chose who got me a birthday card. It was just that this person plays guitar. Let's get them a birthday card. We'll get one with the guitar on it. The only guitar is either a Strat or a Les Paul because it's perforated culture.
Yeah,
where everyone that's what a guitar looks like, and that's what I don't like. I want something unique. Excuse me. My favorite guitar, my favorite mass-produced body shape is the Telecaster. I absolutely love it. It looks fantastic. It's the first mass-produced guitar like ever made, and I don't think it has been beaten since. The Matt Bellamy shape is a unique one. It's a custom one. It was made for him. It doesn't fit into that category because it's not a generic shape like that. But I also love the Evo shape that they've got. It's very similar to a Tele, but the horn is slightly smaller and what have you. It's got the belly cut as well. But just have something that works for unique for you. Again, the last thing I'll say is that the guitar that I made, again, I really like Jaguar or Jazzmaster bodies. Really like that offset shape. And it can be quite low profile as well, kind of sculpted where it gets a bit thinner and feels really good. And then liked the idea of the two twin P90s and just ran with that and so on. So to go off of what you were saying about create something unique, I'd agree with that because I did, and I really like the outcome of that. Is the guitar complete? I don't know. It's gone through 3 necks in its history.
Wow.
It might go through another because this one feels a bit too chunky. I could go with a slimmer neck. It's just difficult to kind of like know to get the right neck without actually holding it and feeling it, touching it first. But yeah, totally agree. Like if you're going to play guitar, you want to have something that is unique for you, not just because I need a guitar and this is what Fender have. It should be, you can start with Fender, but go for something unique overall. And if you want to get something that's really good, you should go to Manson Guitar Works to get the best version of whatever's in your head for them to make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have to say on
I'm sure they'll do it for you, and they'll do a pretty darn good job of it.
And
as we've clearly highlighted in this video today.
We aren't paid by Manson Guitar Works.
I wish I was.
We're just big fans. So yeah, on that, we will call it a part there, call it an episode there. This is probably going to be 2.5 hours, isn't it?
I'd imagine so.
Oh, crikey. And I really thought it would be under an hour of just, I like this guitar for this reason. And then it just all comes out. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a special episode. It's a special.
Special.
The Top Gear specials were always longer than the actual normal episodes they do. So we'll just call it that.
Yeah. It's very good. Very, very, very good. Do let us know what you thought about this episode down in the comments below. And of course, let us know what your picks for best or top Matt Bellamy Manson guitars are, or even just Manson guitars. They have their own series. They have, the Oryx, the Evo, and the Junior series. Let's not forget that as well. It's great that they're kind of, exploring into that, but that's a whole conversation as well. Yeah, let us know what you thought about this episode in the comments below and what your favorite picks would be as well. Any last comments from you, Josh, before we finish?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, just leave your top 5 lists down below because I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that because I'm always questioning fellow muses what their favorite guitars are, and it's interesting to get a nice diverse sort of lists and opinions from people. So do leave them down in the comments down below. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I've been Harry.
And I've been Josh.
And thanks for watching.